The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
And welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country and Off the Wall Street Radio Network. You know, everybody's focusing so much on what's going on with the impeachment and everything else. You know, what happened last Wednesday. We got to start focusing on what is going to happen in the economy now that we have a change in government. Why do you think we are going to be so lucky that Biden's going to do a better job now than when he was vice president? Do you remember, as vice president, Obama appointed him the sheriff?
Joe will keep an eye on how precious tax dollars are being spent. To you, he's Mr. Vice President, but around the White House, we call him the sheriff. Because if you're misusing taxpayer money, you'll have to answer to him.
Oh, wow, answer to Biden. First of all, anyone who's been in government for years, for that many years, 40, even 10 years, 15 years, these people who are professional politicians, they never held a job. They never met a payroll. They've never held a job, a real job. They don't know what to save. When you're in government and you're a congressman and you never had a business, you never started a business, you never met a payroll, you think, oh, you just print money. They have no clue. When he was vice president, here's a great example. They should have held off on Obamacare. Now you watch. They're going to take Obamacare and turn it into single. You watch. It's unbelievable what they're going to do. But think about this. Why didn't they hold off on the Obamacare until they cleaned up the fraud? The fraud was huge, $100 billion a year. They should have cleaned that mess up before going into Obamacare. What are you, nuts? Especially, there's very, very little way of detecting fraud. Medicare, Medicaid, very, very hard to detect it. Since Biden was appointed by the president as the so-called sheriff, think about this. 107 healthcare providers cheated on Medicare. They cheated Medicare out of $452 million under him in false claims. Another 94 people sent in $251 million in phony claims under him. He was supposed to be the sheriff. They got away with it. Because Joe doesn't get it. He's never met a payroll. And what does he and his son do? Steal money. That's how they make their money, right? But I don't want to get into any of that. I want to know, what are they going to do now to make life better for us? I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. You give me a Republican, same thing, who was born with money or who never worked a job. Come on. They went to college, they became a lawyer, then boom, they go to Congress after being a lawyer for 2 years. This is unbelievable. Biden also missed in Miami fraudulent Medicare billing of 421 businesses. So there was 421 businesses doing fraudulent Medicare billing, total of $337 million. The businesses didn't even exist. He didn't even catch that. Matter of fact, things got so bad under Biden when he was the so-called sheriff. Remember now, he was the sheriff.
Joe will keep an eye on how precious tax dollars are being spent.
No politician is going to keep their eye on how tax dollars are spent. No politician tries to save tax dollars. It's not their money. I always said, if you're going to run for Congress and you're going to sign a spending bill, you should have to put 10% of the money you make, the 10% of your salary in that bill. 10% of their money should go in the bill that they're signing off on. So have skin in the game. Have skin in the game. Do you think if Biden had 10% of his salary in Medicare or in the fraud, you think he would have caught the $251 million in phony claims? It's the 94 people said, yeah, he would have caught it then because it's his own money. 40% of New York City Medicare payments are fraudulent. He would have caught those. But see, they have no skin in the game. So they don't care about catching anybody because they just print more money. You know, they call, they're fed up. Hey, print more money for me. You know, a Brooklyn dentist had filed 991 claims in one day, and he got paid. No questions. Nobody even asked him. Sent it in, he got paid. Where was the sheriff? This is unbelievable. And remember what they did. When they were doing this Obamacare, remember Biden pushed through in Obama, their health care bill. They cut more. They didn't tell anybody. They're trying to cut more than $500 billion in future Medicare spending, which, remember, affected every hospital, every doctor, affected the quality of care. But that's like a politician. Politicians don't care about quality. They never have because they never ran a business. They don't know about competition. You got to have quality. Can you imagine? So they cut more than $500 billion in future Medicare, and now it's hitting us. And that now has affected the hospitals and the doctors. And that means your care is getting worse. So are we to believe we're going to be so lucky he's going to change that? Or any politician. I don't care if it's Biden or who. I don't care if it's a Republican. You think nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's unbelievable. And nobody cares. Here's what really makes me grumpy. Nobody gives a damn that 20% of our population is contributing to 2% of our economic growth. In other words, only 20% of our population have enough money to go buy stuff to contribute to our growth, our economic growth of a pathetic 2%. The 80% have become debt slaves. They become debt slaves under this QE and monetization of debt. 80% of the people are now debt slaves. They don't contribute. And when they try to contribute, they're not. Because every time, as I said yesterday, when they go buy something, it's on a credit card. They go buy some furniture in a store. They put it on a store credit card or a payment plan. Don't pay the interest for 2 years. It's always credit, credit, credit. Well, you pay for that credit. That's debt. I had a laugh today. Listen to this. Remember when Kudlow kept saying this?
We could grow this economy at 4 or 5%.
Remember we kept saying that? Now they're saying that again. They're saying it again. They can keep growing the economy.
Yesterday we had on Nancy Lazar from Cornerstone Macro, and she said GDP in 2021 is looking good, could be 6%. Even
you can't. It's just like this. You can't grow an economy 6%, 4%, 5%. We haven't had a 3% growth since 2005, for heaven's sakes, when only 20% of the population is making money. And how are they making money? Through stock buybacks. We're talking about the 1/100th of 1 percentile. We're talking about the 1%. Take the top 10% of the population who are in stocks. They're the ones who are making money. You know, you hear about this housing boom? That's a very small group that's purchasing these homes. It's that top 1%. We'll be back with more. Join my gang free for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG. Try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grain at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month, philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
When the market's open, we watch the market all day long. And when we see there's an opportunity for a stock, and it's a stock that we've been following, there's a lot of stocks we put on our watch list, and it has to hit a certain criteria. Then when it does, we alert you. You immediately get an alert that says, we bought this stock, X stock, at $30. So you get an alert immediately. What's better than that? I mean, nobody does that for you. But the most important thing, they'll say, okay, here's why we're getting out now, or here's why we're taking profits. I think it's going to go down. Look, the most important thing is this. I want you to be prepared for when the market does tank or rally, that you're with us, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG. Join my gang right now, Phil's Gang. 877-600-GANG, and you'll be in position, and you'll sleep at night, and you don't have to worry.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You got to get away from this idea of you're going to hire a broker or advisor or someone. They're going to pick out stocks for you. They're going to take you, readjust your portfolio and all this garbage. You're in a 401k. Come on, dog, readjust your portfolio. That is all garbage. Nobody readjusts anything because guess what? It's not about earnings anymore. It's not about profits anymore. When I got into this business, it was all about finding companies, terrific companies that fell on bad times, had bad management. And you go look for these undervalued companies, and you research and really did a lot of hard work trying to find undervalued companies. And you find that undervalued company, and then you start investing in it. And then they start turning it around. Sometimes you hold on to that stock for 10, 15 years, and then you made a huge return. That's how it used to be. The stock market's not that way anymore. It's not a day trader's market. You shouldn't be a day trader. You can't make money day trading unless you're really, just totally dedicated, to day trading. You just live it and eat it and sleep it, and you got the best tools like we have for day traders. But my point is, the best way to make money is to be in a cycle of 3 to 5 months. 3 to 5, that's the exact cycle that your big institutions are in. So you follow the institutional money of 3 to 5 months. Matter of fact, the cycle, the other night I was going back, I started to look, did some research. The cycle is now clawing back. It's contracting. In most cases now, it's 2 months. 2 months. I'm talking about institutions. Who are institutions? The biggest insurance companies, the biggest banks, the biggest hedge funds. Because all they care about is one thing, keeping interest rates at zero. And as long as rates are at zero, and as long as the 20% or the top 1% and the 1/100th of 1%, they can borrow money free, zero interest, and keep doing stock buybacks. They'll never stop doing stock buybacks. What drives the stock market is stock buybacks. It's that simple. And now stimulus. But you're going to know when the market's going to crash, because every crash that I've been involved with, going all the way back to .com, right before the crash is when they have the biggest push on injecting money into the market. The biggest push. And then all the retail customers start jumping in. You get that big push in the market, that big move. That's when you know you start selling. You sell into that move. Same thing with the housing con. Same exact thing. When that last big push, they came in and they pushed that market right up. And then all of a sudden they start pulling back. When the Federal Reserve, remember what the Federal Reserve does? They just print money to keep pushing the stock market up by giving money to the CEOs so they can keep purchasing their own stock, keep shrinking the amount of stock they have outstanding so that they don't have to worry about profits. The worse profits get, all they do is just reduce the amount of shares, shrink the amount of shares they have, and then the worse that the profits, the worse the earnings get, they can make them look like beautiful, make them go up big time. It's all financial engineering. But at some point, when you get to a point where when you look at your earnings per share, earnings on a per share basis, they're up 400%. But when you go and look at the earnings, the aggregate of, you take the S&P 500, put it in one bucket, and look at their earnings as an aggregate, it's like 135 or 165%. That's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. How can you have earnings per individual share of individual stocks at 400%, then you have the aggregate of the S&P at 165%? That'd be like looking at a car going down the street and the wheels are on the roof turning. How the hell could that be? Look at that. Look at a car going down the street. The wheels are on top of the roof. How's it going down the street? That's odd. That shouldn't be. It's the same thing with the stock market. That's why this is the biggest bubble in history. To put in perspective how much a bubble this is, In a split second, our national debt increases more than what an average person makes in wages over a year's time. When you go to bed at night and you wake up in the morning, when your feet hit the floor, another $1.5 trillion in debt. In debt. This is crazy. When you have a stock market since 2008 going up 400%, when the dot-com bubble only went up 218% before it crashed, when the housing bubble went up 287% before it crashed, and remember, these are all man-made bubbles. These are done on purpose. The 400%, they went absolutely nuts because they're at a point now they can't ever go back. They got to continue to do this until you get a huge crash. Remember the way it used to be? When we used to get crashes, we would let that crash occur, let go into a deep recession. The big banks, if they failed, they failed. Everybody would tighten their belt. The banks would clean their balance sheet up. Big corporations would clean their balance sheet up. Our government would start cleaning up their balance sheet. People would clean up their debt, their balance sheet. And when you came out of that recession, you came out like a missile. You were growing 4 to 5%. But that's because you had 80% contributing to the economic growth of the country. We only have, think about it, 20% contributing to our 2% growth. 2%, that's ridiculous. So it's like having a 12-cylinder car operating on 2 cylinders for the last 8 years. Think about you have a car, and for the last 8 years, you got a 12-cylinder car, and you find out only 2 cylinders are firing. What's going to happen? Well, it keeps going. The car keeps moving forward until it doesn't. That's exactly what's going to happen with the stock market, and that's why you've got to be prepared to identify, and we do this for our members. We will figure out when this market when all of a sudden you start seeing the money creation starts decelerating, and that's when you know it's over. That's when you know. And our members all over the country, all over the world, they'll know that, and they'll be protected. And then they'll switch to where they're shorting the market with the same ease as buying a market.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you, start making money. Please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Graney, philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days. What are you, nuts? 85% of the people do not know how to get out of the market. They lose money. because they don't know when to get out. I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. I solved that with my Pro 2 color-coded chart. It tells you when to get out. It tells you when to get in, tells you what to add, not to add. Specifically, when do I get out? It tells you that. Check it out. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Get your 10-day free trial of my Pro 2 color-coded chart and a membership. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
I've been a Phil's Gang member since 2014. Over that time, I've generated over six-figure profits. Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life. I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents. If you really trust in their system, you will do well.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here. And it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Remember to subscribe to my Phil's Gang YouTube channel to get both my live and archived radio shows. Also, my free Phil's Take on the stock market. Also, sign up and get a free 10-day chart and membership trial. And I hope you're listening to me on my YouTube channel. And remember, hit like and share. Okay, like and share. And by the way, every Friday I put up a new video, my take on the market. And the last one I put up last Friday was very popular, a lot of hits. How I explain we're getting closer to the actual crash. And I'm going to keep doing that. And I'll guarantee you, I'll call this crash before anybody else does. Crashes just don't happen. People think you wake up and the market's down 1,000,000 points. And that all came from in 1987 when people came back to work and all of a sudden the market dropped. Well, the market didn't drop in October when they had the crash. It was dropping. Matter of fact, my father was started short the market in January. The final collapse was in October. It takes a long time for a market to collapse. You just got to identify the signs. In other words, the idea is right now, we want to keep making money on the upside, because they're going to do tremendous amount of stimulus. That's all the stock market's about. Remember, markets don't go up anymore on a company making earnings or profits. Nobody cares. 33% of the companies in the S&P aren't even making profits. Nobody cares. It's all about, okay, if they're going to print more money, the government, and they're going to put it into a program, boom, stock market goes up. That's all they want to hear. The big institutions, the biggest insurance companies, that's all they want to hear. The hedge funds, the big banks, that's all they want to hear. Okay, is they're printing money, and they're going to put it to this program, and that, boom, they start buying stock like crazy. Because that's what drives the market right now. It's addicted. Stimulus now is a heroin. It's addicting to the stock market. They can't stop this until it finally just collapses. In other words, remember, each bubble we have is man-made. It's done on purpose. Nobody cares about earnings anymore. When you have the top 1 percentile controlling the stock market, controlling the 80% of the gains on the 500 companies, S&P companies, and they also control at the same time the Federal Reserve, which they control the interest rate. They control everything, which means they also control Congress. So these guys control the interest rates. They have control of the S&P 500 companies. They have big shares in all these companies. And every time they want to get rid of a regulation or whatever, boom, they own Congress. They own Congress. So everything today is not about, can I make a better product? Can I put it out there less expense? None of that anymore. It's just like a casino. But it's better than a casino. You got better odds now. All you got to know is when to get out. Think about it. The market went up over 400%. Look at the money you didn't make. Ridiculous. Look, you hear me talk about the market shorting. Learn how to short. Yes, that's like you hear every time you go in a boat, make sure you got the life preservers. Do you have the life preservers? Beautiful sunny day. Do you have the life preservers? Like it's a joke. Nobody listens. Then the one day the boat starts sinking, somebody forgot the life preservers. The whole family drowns. Well, you're going to drown in the stock market. Because I put out there every day the life preservers. Take your life preserver, no matter how great the market's going up. And that is to learn how to sell short. It's so easy. And with today's technology, my color-coded technology, check it out. It's free for 10 days. For heaven's sakes, you just got to push a button. It's so easy. I mean, think of the headwinds that the consumer has. Consumers haven't made any money. 50% of our workforce is making less than $48,000 a year. You got about 40% of our workforce, 40% are making less than $18,000 a year. Are you kidding? Now, you see, here's what people don't realize. In 2008, we lost 10 million jobs. And remember what was wiped out? Between stock equity and home equity, people lost $11 trillion. They lost their job, and all of a sudden we got 10 million homes being foreclosed on. We had 3.8 million homes being foreclosed right away, right in 2008. Now the problem was usually when you have a good president, all the recessions before that, going back to the 1700s, okay, or going back, they'd always make sure. Okay, they always make sure they go into a recession. What's that mean? Recession's not a bad thing. A recession's a good thing. It means you reset. When a person has a lot of debt, they have a chance to unload that debt, get rid of that debt, and tighten their belt. Companies do the same thing. Clean their balance sheets up. Get rid of that garbage on the balance sheet. The government does the same thing. That's what recessions are for. They're not there for punishment. They're there to reset stock price. Every time you buy a stock today, you're buying a stock that's overpriced by 200%. Why do you think stock buybacks were a felony? They were a felony. You'd go to jail by doing stock buybacks because you knew the stock you were selling to your client was overpriced by 200%. Everybody in the 401k right now, you have no clue. But every stock they're putting in your 401k is overpriced by 200%. You can't make any money in the market. You'll never make any money in the market. And you'll never know when to get out of the market. 85% of you are not going to get out of this market before it crashes because you don't know what the hell you're doing. My members will. With the same ease as they buy a stock, with the same ease they'll be in a position to short, and you're always in that position months before the market starts to crash. Because with today's technology, and especially with the color-coded technology, we see what's going on. We can see in advance when the institutions start pulling their money out. It's no secret. The algorithms show you, hey, they're pulling money out, especially when they start pulling money out of the banks. When the big FANG stocks, all the FANG stocks, big tech stocks, I told my members, I was the first one to tell my members, they're going to start. Matter of fact, if you go back to January 2019, I think it was, 18, I said the stock market's going to crash. It's starting to crash, okay? And I was dead on. We're in the crash now because remember what happened in November 2019. The banks were going down. Nobody knew that. The banks were going down. They had no liquidity. Why? Because all they kept doing is buying stocks, doing stock buybacks. So they had no reserve. So at night when they're supposed to square everything up, they didn't have enough money. Banks couldn't loan to each other at night like they normally do. They jumped in with $400 billion to save the banks. And right now they're printing $250 billion every month to get to the banks to keep them afloat. And now they're trying to get the banks to go up. And I told my members about a month or 2 months ago, I think it was, that we got to rotate out of those stocks, rotate out of Netflix, Apple, and all those stocks because they're going to start pushing the bank stocks. And I was dead right, and the bank stocks are up. Our Wells Fargo, we got in November. I said they're going to be rotating out of the big tech stocks and going into Wells Fargo. We're up 38%. Goldman Sachs, I said the same thing. I said, get into Goldman Sachs. As a matter of fact, Goldman Sachs is one of our 5 stocks we're in all the time. But again, look, I'm not sitting here saying short today. Just be prepared. Just think again, you go out in a boat. Aren't you prepared? You have the life preserver. That's all I'm telling you. Join my gang and learn how to be prepared. So when this does hit you, and it's going to hit you, but you're going to know, at least every one of my members are going to know when it's over. Because it's always that big thrust. They print, and they get that one big, it's like when a guy's dying. You go to the hospital to visit him. And the first night you go, and the guy, he's pale white, and he looks like he's ready to go into a coffin. You go the next night, he's up talking, reading the New York Times, watching, you go, boy, he's looking good. He's looking good. No, it's over for him. That's that last burst of life. It's the same thing with the stock market. We're on that last burst of life before we go into a coffin. We're going to go into a stock coffin. Join my gang free tonight. Check it out. It works.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Why pay thousands of dollars for a weekend seminar when for only $39.95 a month? philsgang.com provides all the daily market investing information you need to make profits in the stock market. With over 40 years of investing experience, only Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team provide daily live investing webinars, up-to-the-minute market updates, all the investing educational videos you can imagine. Don't hesitate to learn, invest, and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264.
Warning. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Facebook, all these hot stocks are going to crash. They're going to drop as much as 60-70%. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. Exactly what happened in the dot-com days is going to repeat itself. Remember, 85% of people lose money in the stock market because they don't know when to get out. I fixed that with my color code technology chart. It tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. That's right. Make sure you check it out. It's free for 10 days. philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. That's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grain at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now, worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market's still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, so let's think about it. The dot-com bubble went up 218%, and then they blew that bubble apart. Housing then was next. They built that up to 287%, and they blew that apart. These were both man-made bubbles. And then they started with the QE bubble. Why did they make such a monster out of this one? Why did that go up over 400% compared to dot-com at 218% and a housing bubble at 287%? What's the difference? Because the difference is they got hooked. They got hooked. And once you get hooked into the zero rates, just like what happened in Japan, you're dead. You're dead. And then the longer you stay with low rates, you can't grow the economy. It's just the opposite that happens to you. You think, well, keep low rates, the economy grows. No, it only grows when you're in trouble and then you have to drop rates. It stimulates it for a while. You want interest rates going up, not down. This whole economy is upside down right now. But that's when you can make money. And we're going to continue to make money on the way up. Look, I'm just looking at my sheet during the break. Our Wells Fargo, we're up 38%. Our oil, Halliburton. Nobody wanted Halliburton. Nobody wanted that stock. We bought it. I told them, buy it, buy it, buy it. Nobody wants it. Up 46%. And then, and Fox last week, Fox just started telling people to buy oils after they're already going up 46%. What are you, nuts? Payne's out there telling, buy oil, buy oil. We're already up 46%. We're taking profits while he's telling people to buy it. One of my refiners, MRO, 55%. That's a refiner. Nobody wanted the refiners. Everybody was laughing when I kept saying, I got all kinds of email. You buying oil? Are you nuts? You buying oil? Well, how you like this one? 55%. I mean, I can go on and on. Nobody wanted Carnival Cruise Line, up 38%. Nobody wanted Las Vegas Sands. That's up 21%. You got to buy stocks when nobody wants them. And you just be patient with them. Just be patient. And the market, all of a sudden the big institutions come back and they start rotating. And they start looking for the laggers, like the Vegas casinos. They'll go start looking for those. when they got slaughtered, and just like they'll start looking for, and they did, for refiners. And we were already in refiners. And then finally the hedge funds came in, started by the refiners. You got to get into stocks that aren't popular. That's how you make money. And then when there's a lot of money coming in the market, like it's going to be now for the next few months, tons of money are going to come in. They're going to just print so much money. They're going to just blast this market. And this is the last. This is it. This is the end of it. This happens every market. They do this right before it crashes. They get in there and they just push. And then all the retail customers have been out of the market for the last 12 years. Think, gee, I better get in now. After 12 years, now, when they get in, it's over. How can it not be? 80% of our population are debt slaves. Remember, when the market crashed in 2008, we never had a recovery. There was over $10 trillion. $10 trillion there in debt, household debt. They never got rid of it. Then they start putting on more debt. $56 trillion in more debt because they never got rid of it. And that's why now you see they can't contribute. That's why when you hear them saying there's going to be 4 to 5%, buy stocks, 4 to 5%, the GDP is going to go up 4 to 5%, 6%.
Yesterday, we had on Nancy Lazar from Cornerstone Macro, and she said GDP in 2021 is looking good, could be 6%.
You're not going to get to 6%. You can't. It's impossible when you got 80% of the population debt slaves. And you only got 20% of the population who are making money, who are really making money. And in the stock market, the people who are making money is the top 100th of 1%, and then you got the top 1 percentile. And if you want to push it out, you could say it's the top 10% of our population, our adult population. That's it. Those are the only people making money. The top 10% of the population in the stock market. That's it. Everybody else is losing money. A 401k, you're dead. You're dead. You're so dead you don't even know you're dead. You're so dead you don't know you're dead. I mean, being in a 401k in this kind of market, what are you, nuts? They're going to slaughter you. Nobody's going to get you out of your 401k in time. Why would they? They don't get paid to get you out in time. You get the worst. 401ks have the worst managers. Remember, pensions are gone. Pensions, you had the best managers. You had people who traded for themselves, who knew how to trade, make money for themselves. That's who managed your portfolio. The guys who manage your 401k, they're terrible. They couldn't make money if they tripped over it. They're the worst traders. They couldn't open up an account and get a 2% return. They'd be lucky. They can't. They don't know how to trade. And when they do trade, they lose money. That's why they go and become a 401k manager so they get a salary. Look, right now, we've got some stocks. Like a few stocks that we're looking at right now is for example, we have a group that I think is going to do pretty well. And let me get them in here. We've done really well with our casinos. We did really well our cruise lines, our refiners. Now there's another group I'm watching carefully that we're going to make some real good money on because they're going to, it all has to do with green, okay? Remember now, Biden's going to go nuts with everything green, right? And so you want to find stocks, like solar stocks, for example, infrastructure stocks. A couple stocks we're watching right now are ACM, okay? And they have everything to do with infrastructure, VMC. Vulcan Materials. That's another one that's looking good. MLM. So anything stock to do with infrastructure, any stock that has to do with roads, construction, materials, those kind of stocks. And we're trying to buy the ones that the worst ones. So join my gang. It's free for 10 days. After 10 days, you can make a decision what you want to do. And again, all we ask is you start making money, help St. Jude. That's all. Just help St. Jude a little bit. So I'm reaching out to help you, and I'm trying to prepare you. Right now, we're going to keep taking advantage of these stocks that are going up based on all this printing of money and all this stimulus. Okay? It's all fake. It's all fake. But let's make money on it. And we will know well in advance when it's over. When they stop printing the stimulus and they start clawing back the stimulus, that's when you know the crash will begin. It usually takes 6 months, 4 to 6 months after the Federal Reserve stops printing all this money and putting it into all the stimulus. Once it stops, just like at the dot-com, just like the housing con, took about 3 months. I think the dot-coms was like, it was more than that. I think dot-coms was like 6 months, and I think the housing was like 3 months when they stopped printing all the money, and then 3 months, 6 months later, the markets crashed. And that's what's going to happen with QE. Because you got just too much headwinds. You can't have the consumer sitting out there, okay, who's, again, he's dead. I mean, 48% of people with credit cards are making minimum payment. What are you, nuts? 43% with credit cards, they can't even meet their monthly payment. They can't meet, they're so far in debt. I mean, it's just crazy. Think about it. They're paying 35% interest on store cards, 25 to 35% on store cards, getting credit at stores. Auto loans, student loans. Those loans, okay, going past due, are growing at 30%. Then you got the government spending $6.4 trillion more than they, $3.1 trillion more than they take in. You can't keep doing that. You can't do that. And we don't have a national debt of $27 trillion. We have a national debt of like $170 trillion, for God's sakes, because you got to add in Medicare and Medicaid, and those are all unfunded. But the big thing, you got to just remember this. Earnings per individual share of stock, okay, went up about 400% with all this fake stuff going on, QE. But the earnings of all the S&P 500 stocks together is only 175. That's backwards. That's so screwed up. Should be the opposite. That there alone tells you that any stock you're buying today is overpriced by 200%. We'll make sure that we make money on those stocks, but we get out first. Remember, 85% of you lose money because you don't know when to get out. Using my color-coded chart, you'll know exactly when to get out. And after 10 days free, you'll be convinced. Join my gang. Listen to me on my YouTube channel. See you on the charts.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.